chairs with me, Cheer Up Charlie. And today we have a bit of a different introduction, because today I get to chat with one of my heroes, someone who has shown me kindness since the very first time my story got told, and someone who has sat in the background ever since. One of the most kind and caring people I have ever met, and who has shown me that there are so many nice people in the world. And if I grow up to be anything like him, then I know I will be just fine. So thank you, Kieran Brown, for being my friend.
You make me want to cry with that introduction. How am I supposed to respond to that? Thank you. Hi, thanks for having me. And thank you for a lovely introduction.
Thank you for doing it.
My pleasure.
So if you're ready, we'll get right into the questions.
Let's get started. I will answer as truthfully as I possibly can.
What age did you first discover your love of the arts?
I think I was 9 years old, if I remember correctly. I was 9 years old, and my best friend from school at the time was in a children's theatre company, and I just wanted to hang out with them. And so I thought, well, I might as well just join this children's theatre company as well, because it means I get to play with my best mate more often. So I did, and then that was kind of it. I don't think I necessarily fell in love with it straight away. I think it was like another 2 or 3 years before I kind of thought, actually, I quite enjoy this. And it was certainly a few more years after that before I decided I wanted to do it as a career. But it all kind of started around about 9 or 10, I think. So yeah, I'm trying to think what year it would be. 1989. So I was 10 years old. So, because I'm quite old.
Did you have a really supportive family who were from the arts, or were they just like mine and knew absolutely nothing?
I very similar to you, actually. None of my family have ever been involved in the arts at all. I'm the only one that's ever been a singer or a performer. But much like you, I've always had a fantastic family who've always supported me in every way that they possibly could, from driving me to auditions to coming to see all of my shows, even the really terrible ones, and there have been a couple. I won't name them. But I've been really lucky in that my entire family has always been really, really supportive, but none of them have a musical bone in the body.
Yes, that sounds exactly like mine.
Don't say that too loud.
When did you know that you could make a career out of music?
I'm still trying.
Oh, no, you are not. You have got a very good career.
I think because when I was in high school, because it's quite different in Scotland the way from how it is in England, and it's even different now from when I was at school, because I'm 42 now, so this has gone back a long time ago. And to begin with, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I kind of enjoyed performing. I enjoyed theatre, and I worked with some great amateur theatre companies in Scotland. But there was a point when I thought I was going to be a primary school teacher, because I work experience, and I quite enjoyed working with the younger kids. And then at one point I wanted to be a reporter. So I was maybe going to go and I looked at university courses studying English or something that would take me down that route. And then by the time I decided that I wanted to possibly go to drama school, I had missed the submissions deadline, but I had a very good teacher and mentor, a wonderful man called Bill Graham, who was very kind of well known in my local area. He was my drama teacher, and he pulled a few strings and managed to get me an audition. But the course that I did, which doesn't exist anymore, I studied at the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama, which is now called the Royal Conservatory of Scotland. And the course that I did was aimed at people who weren't quite sure what they wanted to do. They wanted to be involved in the arts in some respects, but maybe they wanted to be a director, maybe they wanted to be a drama teacher, which is what I was thinking about at the time. Some of them wanted to perform, some of them wanted to produce, to direct. So the course was called Dramatic Studies. And for the first 2 years, we kind of studied every area of theatre. We looked at everything from producing, directing, history of theatre, things like Commedia dell'arte, Greek theatre and stuff.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. And there was a performance element as well. So in your third year, you decided whether you wanted to pursue performance, which I definitely did. And then I was invited to stay on for honours and do an honours in acting. So it wasn't really until about my second year in drama school, in around about 1998, when I did my first professional job as well, that I decided that I was going to try and be an actor and make a career out of it. So that's a very long answer there, but
it doesn't matter. Trying and succeeding.
Trying, mostly trying. We never stop trying. You should never stop trying as a performer anyway. There's always things you can learn, and there are always things you can do better. And every job is an education. I always say, I always learn something new about this business and me, me as a performer and how I deal with business. Every single job, I take something away from it, and I think you should always do that. You should never stop learning. Where
did you do your formal training?
At the Royal Conservatory in Glasgow. It was in Glasgow. Really, really great school. It's got a fantastic reputation. To be honest, I'll tell you, to be honest, a little secret. I kind of thought about auditioning for a musical theatre course in London, and I looked at Guildford, and I looked at Mount View, and I looked at Arts Educational, but I wasn't very confident. I wasn't very confident with my singing, and certainly not my dancing. I'm still not confident with my dancing, so I wish I was a better dancer. But I was too scared to come down to London and audition, because I didn't think I'd ever be good enough. I think they'd think, who's this silly little boy from Scotland who wants to come and do musical theatre in London? Go back up to Scotland, and so I was a little bit scared. And I wish that I'd been a bit more confident with my own abilities as a singer and performer, and then maybe they would have made me a better dancer. I don't know, but I don't regret the choice that I made to go to the Royal Conservatory of Scotland, because it's a fantastic school, and they have some. I went to drama school with James McAvoy and people like Stephen Cree and people have done really some really great stuff. Even people like Alan Cummings, and people went to that drama school, so they've got some really good people there. So I don't regret the choice that I made, but I regret not having a bit more courage to go and do musical theatre more, because that's what I loved. A bit like you.
Well, don't worry, because I'm not that confident in my dance either. So
yeah, but you have the benefit of age on your side. And you have a great support network, and you have all these fantastic opportunities. Just work at your dancing then. That's the thing, because I wish that I had. It's too late for me now. I can barely move. But not for you.
What was your first big break?
I don't really think I've had a big break yet. In terms of different stages in my career, I guess I was very lucky. While I was still at drama school, I did a production of Into the Woods to mark the Academy's 150th birthday, and I met a fantastic musical director and a fantastic director called Mike Fields, and a wonderful mentor called Alistair Hawthorne, who was the assistant director, and he cast me in pantomime back in 1997, and I got my first professional gig as Aladdin in Aladdin up in Scotland. And after that, I did some Shakespeare. I did Twelfth Night at the Brunton Theatre in Edinburgh, David Mark Thompson. But then when I left drama school, my first big job was Les Misérables. Was my first kind of West End job. I think I graduated from drama school in June, and I got Les Mis in September or October, I think.
Oh, so not long after you graduated.
Yeah, I was very lucky. I was quite lucky. So, and that kind of brought me into this world that I knew nothing about, because I didn't study in London. I wasn't very confident with my singing and stuff, but I got Les Mis as my first job. So I thought, I can't be that bad. I've just got Les Mis, my first big job after drama school. So, yeah.
You had some rather impressive roles, including Phantom and a member of the incredible Barricade Boys. But which one really stands out to you?
Every job's different, isn't it? And probably, I think my first time that I got to play the Phantom, I did quite a few shows as the Phantom in my 2 years there, because it's always, I don't know about you, but for me, certainly growing up, it was always a dream, one of my dream roles. So I think that kind of playing the Phantom kind of trumps everything. It's kind of really not many other amazing roles that that are more iconic than that, and to get the mask and to perform in that theatre with that orchestra, and just when you hear that overture and stuff, it's quite a moment. Yeah, you kind of have to check yourself. And being a barricade boy, however, is tremendous fun. I love the guys. I love our music. I love our audiences. They always leave, and they always have such a great time.
Yeah.
So they're very different experiences, but I think probably Phantom trumps it just ever so slightly. But don't tell them that, because they'll kill me.
What is your most memorable moment today? You must have so many, but does one really stand out to you?
Memorable moment. Taking my first bow after my first performance at Phantom. My mum and dad were in the audience, because I was told the night before that I was going to be on, and they drove down overnight from Scotland to watch me. And so they were in the audience with West End Wilma and my fiancée and various other people. So that was, when I came on to take my bow and the audience all stood up, that was a feeling I'll never forget. I had one moment in Wicked. There's a scene with Professor Nicky Dick when he runs off with the trolley with that the lion cage was in, and because the stage in Wicked at the Apollo Victoria, as you know, I'm sure you've been on it, it's on a bit of a rake, so it's slightly slanted, because that helps sight lines in these kind of older theatres. But it meant that running off with the cage, which had someone inside it, was sometimes a bit difficult, and I just couldn't master it. And there was one day that the trolley just kind of went out of control, and I couldn't get it back. So it spun all the way around so that the back was facing the audience, with my friend Harry Francis, who just did the Cats in Quarantine video. He was in the trolley, all scrunched up, because he was operating the glove puppet with the lion in it. And he just all of a sudden was facing the audience. And I didn't know what to do, so I just ran off and left him. And some of the stage management had to kind of run on and grab the trolley before the scene change. And that was a kind of horrifying, hilarious moment that I will never, ever, ever forget.
Were you ever bullied as a child or in the industry?
I don't think I've ever been bullied in the traditional sense in the industry. There's been a couple of times where, you know, people might not have behaved as appropriately as they should have done. When I was at school, I was very badly bullied particularly from primary school through most of high school. Also, it became a bit more manageable and bearable in high school, because, you know, I found the school, the drama clubs and stuff, and I made some fantastic friendships that I still have and stuff. So, but the same person did bully me for a number of years, and particularly bad at primary school. So it's when I heard your story, when gorgeous Jacqueline tweeted, I think I was one of the first to get in touch and say, you know, I've been there. I've felt that bad, and I don't want anyone to feel the same way that I felt, which is why I've always supported you and want to help you, because bullying it's just the worst. It really, really badly affected me for a few years. I didn't want to go to school. I was just terrified to go anywhere. I was never even got inside my front door because this person didn't live too far away from me. So I know what it's like. I know how unfair it is, and it wasn't just one bully. There at various points there were a couple of others that kind of got involved, but I kind of kept my head down. I tried to keep below the radar a little bit. So yeah, I was, and it had a huge effect on me. And I wish, as you get older, you wish that you could do lots and lots of things differently. And I wish that I had approached it with the same kind of bravery and courage that you do, which is why I have a lot of admiration for you, and the fact that you keep, you didn't allow it to beat you. You kind of got up and stood up, and you will keep doing the things that you love and being the person that you are. And I didn't have that kind of bravery, not because I didn't have the right support network around me, but it just affected me in a different way.
Yeah. Bullying affects people in all different ways.
Definitely does. And I think I was only physically attacked that I can remember maybe 2 or 3 times, and certainly not to the extent that you were and stuff. So in some ways, I guess I was lucky, and the way I also look at it is that there's one person in particular, no one has heard of what he's doing now. You know, his life is inconsequential, for want of a better word. And I would love to see him now. I'd love to be able to speak to him now and let him know the hell that he put me through. I guess he's maybe the kind of person that he probably wouldn't care. But I'd love to see him now and speak to him now and make him aware of the effect that he had on my mental health and my growing up. And I still have a lack of confidence, and I put some of it possibly down to that. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist or anything, but I attribute that possibly to the long-term effects of that. But but the way that you deal with it is just, it's phenomenal. I've got so much respect for you and for your amazing parents for encouraging you, and for everyone for getting behind you. It's incredible.
Yeah, they are very, very amazing parents. Cool. If you could give yourself some advice as a child, knowing what you know now as an adult, what would it be?
I don't know if we've got enough time for all that advice that I'd give me. I would probably say to myself, believe in yourself a bit more. I think that's advice that I still should give myself.
Now for some funny questions. You better buckle your seatbelt, because this is going to get interesting.
Oh dear, I think I'm a bit scared.
What role would you most like to play, regardless of gender, animal, or age?
Oh wow. Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard. I could be Norman Desmond. Norman. We should do a gender swap version. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be a pretty cool role. What do you most get in trouble for off your partner?
Oh gosh, the list is endless. Opening all the windows. I like to have all the windows open. I like fresh air. I come from Scotland. We like it cold and fresh air. So I open all the windows.
All of them.
Yeah, I like the fresh air. And I sometimes I don't think I'm guilty. I get accused of not doing the washing up correctly, but I don't think that I'm guilty of that.
How do you not do the washing up correctly?
Well, we don't have a dishwasher, so I sometimes get told if ever I leave a little mark on a plate or something, but I don't think I do that. So I think I'm not guilty of that one.
Have you ever tripped up on stage and everybody saw it?
I had the worst experience of that you're likely ever to hear. And it was in my first job. It was Les Misérables. And it was the end of my first week, and it was a Saturday night. And we used to, the show was at the Palace Theatre, which is where Harry Potter back then. It was before it moved to the Queen's Theatre. And it was the first week, and we all used to, for the encore bow, we'd take our bows and everyone would go off, then we'd come back on for another bow, then everyone would go off, and the audience were cheering so much, so we'd all just kind of run on, and it was a bit of a mess. It was a bit of a, and I was with Carmen Cusack, who was playing Fantine, and at the end she has the long dress on, the train in the dress that she wore when she died and stuff. And we ran to the front, and I was holding her hand, and I slipped on her train.
Oh no.
And as God is my witness, I went flying with my feet in the air, landed flat on my back on a Saturday night to a sold out Saturday night house at the Palace Theatre in London, the end of my first week of my first job. And I was mortified. I mean, I hurt my back, but I was mortified. And everyone was laughing. Everyone thought this was hilarious. I didn't. I was mortified. And as I was trying to walk off stage, one of my colleagues, Phil Snowden, he kind of like pushed me back on and made me take another bow by myself. But I was so embarrassed. I just wanted to disappear. The guy who was playing Jean Valjean, who's a very nice guy, he wasn't very happy. So he walked up the stairs and he was shouting about how I was a amateur and I should go back to drama school. And he slammed his dressing room door so hard that the glass shattered in his door in his dressing room. And I never made that mistake again. I never did that again. That was
that's not very nice of whoever was playing Jean Valjean.
Well, you know, I guess it's quite an emotional journey for him, and then for all of that to be, you know, upended at the very end by this first time at drama school who ran to the front of the stage and slipped. I kind of get it, but he kind of overreacted a little bit. But,
everyone makes mistakes, especially on their first job.
Yeah.
Everyone makes mistakes.
And it was an accident, you know, it was an accident, but I never did that run forwards for the bows again. I never did it. I always hung at the back because I didn't want that to happen again.
And now is for my favourite funny question.
Oh dear, okay.
And it's my favourite one because we all have one, even you, Kieran. What's your most disgusting habit?
Biting my fingernails. Oh, I know, it's gross and I hate it and I don't even know I'm doing it. I don't even know I'm doing it, but I do it without even thinking, and it's disgusting, especially now, especially at the moment when we have to anti-back all the time. And I thought that maybe if I do the anti-back all the time, maybe the taste, but now I just quite like the taste of the anti-back. So,
that is
not
just...
really. I know, it's gross. But yeah, probably bite my fingernails. Or singing to myself when I'm on a train or something.
Okay, no, that's not a bad habit. I do that all the time. Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah, but you get away with it though, because you've probably got a much better voice than me, and you are your age, and I am a 42-year-old guy that's trying to sing Phantom of the Opera, waiting for my tube.
That's pretty cool. If I walked past somebody singing Phantom of the Opera very well, like you do, waiting for your tube, I would be like, yeah, that's cool. That's for a round of quickfire questions.
Okay, now I am scared. Okay, right, I'll try.
Text or talk?
Oh, text.
Favourite city?
Vienna.
Chocolate or Haribo?
Chocolate.
Favourite place to eat?
Joe Allen's, if I'm being stagey. Pizza Express, if I'm not.
The last 3 interviews, everyone has said Joe Allen's.
Is it really? Brilliant.
Yeah.
Maybe they give me a free meal.
Sandals with or without socks?
Oh, without. No question. Come on. We're not savages.
Pizza or burger?
Pizza.
Last song downloaded?
I think it was Rob Houchen, Dance Again.
Ooh, you're one of the quickest people to ever answer that question.
Am I? Yeah,
normally people have to check their phones and go onto like music or Spotify or whatever.
I think that was the last song I downloaded.
First celebrity crush?
Oh gosh, that's a difficult one. Bear in mind I'm 42. Annika Rice.
Favourite superhero?
Oh gosh, I'm not really a superhero kind of guy. I mean, it would have to be Henry Cavill as Superman, but then I quite like Chris Evans, Captain America, for many reasons.
Okay, and now for the most controversial question I could ever ask a Scotsman.
Okay.
Scotland or England?
Oh, you can't ask me to answer that. Scotland, always Scotland. I'm going there tomorrow. I have to say that. I'm going there tomorrow for a week, so.
I hope your tongue's not in a knot, because it's time for a tongue twister.
Oh, no, I'm terrible at these. Right.
You can repeat it after me and then you'll go on your own. Fred fed Ted.
Fred fed Ted.
Bread.
Bread.
And Ted fed Fred.
Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed Fred.
Bread.
Bread. Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed Fred bread.
Woo!
Fred fed Ted bread and Ted fed Fred bread. Right.
Are you involved in any charities?
I've been quite involved with quite a few charities. I'm patron for a couple of theatre companies. It'll be one theatre school, TMTI in Birmingham and Shakespeare's Kids up in Scotland. But I did a charity video during lockdown to raise for the NHS charities together, featuring John Barrowman and Elaine C. Smith and stuff, called Beautiful City. But I'm selling my photographs, and I'm giving 10% of the sales of every photograph to Acting for Others, which is a really fab charity. I'm sure you and your subscribers know all about Acting for Others. So if you have a look on my picture website, kieranbro.picfair.com, there's 1,000 images to choose from, some stagey theatre images, lots of travel images, and 10% from every sale goes to Acting for Others charity. So yeah.
That's really cool. Thank you so much, Kieran. It has been absolutely amazing talking to you, and it's been a pleasure and honour. Thank you.
No, it's my pleasure, my honour. Thank you for having me, and keep being amazing, because you're inspiring so many people, and it's just phenomenal. I'm very proud of you.
Bye.
Take care. I'm going to go now. Ta-da.
Take care. Bye. So that was another amazing episode of Cheer Up Charlie. Remember to hit that subscribe button, because that is one of the only ways we can and we will make a difference. We need people's support and we need people to help us. Bye.